Welcome to the 2025 Economic Preparation and Depression channel. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me on this Monday, May 12th, 2025 edition. Consumers, buyers, breathing a sigh of relief now as the U.S.-China trade deal, 90-day deal, takes effect. It sent retailer stocks surging. Best Buy, Amazon, Tesla, all up after the trade deal as expected. But, will this encourage more people to buy from these stores? I don't know at the moment. But these stocks are all up. Lululemon, Marvel, Yeti, Apple, Meta, Nvidia, all these stocks had heavy gains today as everything continued to go up after the trade deal was announced around lunchtime today on Monday Eastern time from the White House. So the White House announced an agreement with China, which has been at the center of the tariff clash here. So even Wayfair was up 22.1% higher than it had been forecasted earlier here. So we can see stocks are loving this now, but we also had the markets rising, continuing to rise here as this trade deal gets solidified for 90 days here, a temporary trade deal. So the tariff rate on Chinese goods will reduce down to 30%, while China agreed to lower its rate to the U.S. goods by the same amount to 10% here. That's a deal here made by U.S. Trade Representative here, fostered by Jamieson Greer and U.S. Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent. They take part in the press conference today as we continue to see this trade deal hammered out here by these two countries here. Now, with that being said, oil prices surged more than $1.60 a barrel. The U.S. dollar gained against the euro and the Japanese yen. And so some de-escalation is taking place here in terms of the tariffs. Also some good news. The U.S. economy added a stronger than expected 177,000 jobs in April. This is according to CNNBusiness.com. So we added 177,000 jobs in April. A slight slowdown from March's downward revised 185,000 jobs, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics data that was released on Friday. So April's gain was stronger, but not by much. But still, the unemployment rate is still hovering around 4.2%. Now, according to reports, this is a historically low level. So even with the cuts in the government, the federal government, and cuts here, we're still having a unemployment rate that remains unchanged to at 4.2%. So we'll see what happens here. So economists polled, they're saying that they're expecting the economy to add just 135,000 jobs, and that the unemployment rate held at 4.2%. So the unemployment rate held according to economists, but they've only added 135,000 jobs. So we're still looking at that as well. We're looking at inflation increasing. We're still looking at high inflation levels. So in spite of the unemployment rate not remaining the same here, as you can see, we're still looking at high inflation levels. We're still looking at high home costs for a lot of people in terms of not just the mortgages, but the insurances and the utility bills and things that are still elevated here as we head into the summer months here, starting next month. You can see the 177,000 jobs of April. It just barely edges out a time, kind of like level with March. And you can see January and February with tepid job creation months, almost dipping below 100,000 jobs created here. The question is, yes, we're creating jobs. The question is, what type of jobs, and are these jobs going to be stay around? Are they going to be seasonal contracting jobs? And you can see the type of jobs here: private education and health services with 70,000 jobs last month, transportation and warehousing with 29,000 jobs, and leisure and hospitality with 24,000. And then it goes down, government jobs 10,000, wholesale trade 5,800, and then places that they lost jobs was utility, manufacturing, no surprise there, retail trade, no surprise, and other services 1K. So they've had a negligible amount in there. So employers are still waiting out to see what the effect of the raising of the minimum wage in a lot of different states that are going to be taking effect. In addition, the employers are waiting to see how much more they're going to have to pay in terms of other costs, labor costs, input costs going up and stuff like that. So we have to wait and see what happens on that as we continue to see here. Gold prices continue to plummet, nearly 3% down on U.S.-China trade truce. So gold prices go down 3% here, down 2.7% to 32.3707 per ounce. And so gold continues to fall here at the record high last month. Gold continues to fall. U.S. dollar is starting to shore up itself after falling most of January, February, and March. And now, as we're in May here, and the dollar shores up itself a little bit against the yen and the euro, but it's still not out of the woods yet with all of these. Let me know if you're investing in any of these precious metals, gold, silver, crypto, or if you're investing more in the commodities market that's hot right now. The commodities market is very hot right now. Iron ore, rare earth, diamond, zinc, platinum, palladium. Let me know what you think about those markets in the comments. Take care. God bless. I'll talk to you very soon in the next episode.